I'm Paul Carroll. I'm the editor-in-chief of Insurance Thought Leadership. I'm here with Ty Sagalow, who is the founder of the Innovation Insurance Group. And I wanted to talk a little bit about reputation risk and management of that risk. We're gathered here at RIMS in Denver in late April, and there seems to be a lot of discussion going on. What's the big issue and why now?
Well, there is a lot of discussion on reputation risk and reputation in insurance. And the reason for it is that Warren Buffett said that the number one feature that he looks at in his investment decisions is brand integrity and brand strength.
Okay.
In the Fortune 500, the amount of their assets of a Fortune 500 company, which is intangible assets, has risen from 20% in 1975 to well over 80% today. So the issue of how you handle your brand, how you handle a crisis, is a critical issue for any company, and it's consistently in the top three, many times the top number one concern of CEOs.
Okay. So what should a company do to do a better job of managing its reputational risk?
Well, there are a number of things that can be done. One is prior to having a crisis, you need to have a crisis communication plan. You need to have a process in place. You have to have a culture of telling the truth and telling it early and telling it yourself. Once a crisis does hit, in some ways you need to put the lawyers in their place. I'm a lawyer, and I love being a lawyer, and there's a part of my brain that's just all dead because, a lawyer is very risk adverse.
Right.
And they tend to say no comment, or we don't comment on things while in litigation, or we don't comment on things that might go into litigation if we do comment. That is, with all due respect to my colleagues in the bar, really, really bad advice. Lanny Davis has one of the best phrases in this area. Lanny, of course, was the crisis management assistant to President Clinton.
Right.
And what he says is, tell it yourself, tell it early, and tell it all. And that is, in general, the best advice if you have a crisis.
Okay, so next time I deal with a lawyer, I'll say, Ty Sagalow says I'm supposed to put you in your place.
Please do.
Okay. So what else? Or potentially in terms of the insurance side, is there something they should do in addition to the initial response to a crisis?
Yes, be aware of the fact that the insurance industry and your insurance carrier partners can be your partner when it comes to crisis management. Well over 20 years ago, the D&O industry realized that there was an impact on how a company handles a crisis, and that would impact both the frequency and severity of shareholder actions.
Okay.
That's why in most D&O policies, as well as many other liability policies, there's a crisis management a sublimit anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. But the other thing to do if you're a risk manager or a CEO or CFO is look at what else is available in the insurance industry. Since 2010, there has been a number of standalone policies offering substantial limits, both in terms of reimbursement of crisis management expenses, as well as financial reimbursement of losses incurred as a result of the crisis.
Are the issues today sort of the same that they've been for 5 or 10 years, or has something changed? And as you look out 5 years, do you see the issues being sort of the same, or do you see a material difference?
Something has dramatically changed, and it's called the internet.
I've heard of it.
You've probably heard of it. Back in the day, if you had a crisis, you could have 24 hours to respond. And if you're good, you might even be able to get 48 hours. It was the 24-hour news crisis. Today, the news crisis is 24 seconds. If something bad happens, there is going to be an adverse blog before you can catch your next breath. So it's very important to be prepared beforehand, and it's very important to have the right attitude when the crisis begins.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Ty.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.